Good morning. We are here to present about our assignment of Fundamental of Computer Network. My name is Xiazhen Yang, and this is my another friend, Tan Jian Yang. First, let's do some introduction. We are assigned to design a local area network for based on the scenario. This is our network design. We designed this network based on star topology. Why we use star topology? This is because that star topology is easy to implement and easy to troubleshoot if any error occur. So you can see that the location A is using the red bracket, the red square, and the blue square indicates the location B, and the yellow square indicates the location C. So why we use red cable for location B and location C? This is to ensure that the low latency, since location B is far away from location A 500 meter and location C is far away from location A about 200 meter. And you can see that in the location C, there's a crossover cable between the switch. This is because there's in the same device, you need to use crossover to connect to each other.
So for the next part, I'm showing the subnet table. We are required to use the IP address of 10.0.0.0 with the prefix length of 8 to plan our network. And we have the host required for every department. And we are considered to have 65% of growth for every host in every department. So here is the total of hosts we have and the subnet address, prefix length, and all others. Okay. So for the next part, I will be showing how to calculate the subnet address and the prefix lengths. So for this part, I'll be showing the calculation of the engineering department. As we know, we are starting with the subnet address of 10.0.0.0, and we need to change it to a binary form. And then we have the total host of 830. So we have to consider that we need a number that is higher than 832 because we need extra 2 more places for the host. And I've found that we need 124 that is higher than 832. Then we have to draw a line there. For this, after that is for the host, and the in front is for the network. Then for the in front one, as we know, we have already 8 default prefix, and then we have 8 more right here, and that's why we 8 plus 8, and here we have borrow 6 right here, so we have borrow 6, so it's 8 plus 8 plus 6 is equal to 22, so the prefix length is 22. And how to calculate the subnet address for the next department is we add 1 after the line we draw before, and for this place is change this result, we change it from binary to decimal, so it will show this answer right here. And the custom subnet mask is actually we are doing it still this line, but we change the line, the 0 before of the line is we change it all to 1, and the line after we remain it 0, so it becomes for this part it will become 252. I've showed the calculation before, then we have to assign it for the others one. And for the prefix length is all will be the same because we are assigned to do a IPv4 addressing. Is a classful addressing for, so we need all the prefix lengths to be same. And for the next one, this for the first usable and the last usable is actually the address range that we can use to assign for the router configuration and switch configuration in the next part of the addressing table. Okay, so for this part, I will be talking about the addressing table. For the router, every interface of the router, we need to consider the first usable address for the interface that's connected. Like administrator switch, the first usable is actually 10.0.4.1, and the administrator switch is actually connected to the G0/0, and the subnet mask is all the same, so it's 255.255.252.0. And then my friend Xiazhen Yang will show the configuration of the router.
Okay, so now we come to the router here. So we open the CLI tab of the router. So we need to set up the thing. We need to go to privilege accept. So we use the enable command to enter the privilege accept mode. Then next we will go. Now it's inside here. Then we need to configure the password first to ensure the security. So let's go to the config eagle terminal. So we type the configure terminal command, then we enter the configure terminal. Then first, let's set up the password for the entering of the router first. So let's go to the line first. First, we go to line VTI 0. Then we set up the password for we set up a password using the password command, and then type the command. Which command we use? CLA33. And then after typing this command, then you need to type login. Then only you can exit. You want to do the login, you also need to do it for the console 0 line. So we need to do the same thing. Basically, it's the same thing. We do the console 0 and then the same password, and also login, then exit. So basically, the password here is configured. Then next, we also need to configure for the privileged access mode. We need to use the enable secret command and type in the password. So we use AACS2034. Since okay. So we use a formal router since the router here is already set up. We use the whole setup to show you how to do the configuration. So and then next we go to the interface. So first, if you want to configure our administration, you need to know that which is the connect. We connect the administration. We connect to the gigabit Ethernet 0. You can see that we connect to the gigabit Ethernet 0. So if you want to configure the you need to configure for the port to connect to the administration and department. So you need to connect it. Then you just go to the interface. Which interface? We use the gigabit 00. As you just now see, that is the gigabit 00 connect to the administration. Then interface gigabit interface gigabit internet. Then the G0/0. Then you enter the interface. Then how do we set up the IP? So we use IP address command. And so after we enter the interface, then how we configure the IP? So we enter the command. We using the IP address command, and then we need to enter the IP of the port. So we're using 10.0.4.1. And you also need to enter the subnet mask. So it's 255.255.252.0. How do we get it? Through the calculation just now, get, and then we enter. Then the IP address is already set up. And also, you need to use the no shutdown command to activate the port. After you enter it, then exit. You should be able to connect already.
Okay, so for the next part, I'll be talking about the switch. Every switch will have the same interface, LAN 1, and all the switch will be using the second usable IP address and have the same subnet mask. A switch will have special things we call a default gateway that will be linked to the router IP address. Okay, so for the international news switch, we actually have two departments. So we have two switch right here, and two of these switch share the same host, and the first one will be using the second usable, and the other one will be using the third usable. After that, I will be passing it to Zenyang to show the configuration of the switch.
Then we need to go to the interface of VLAN 1. Then we enter. We using the table, and then based on the table, we we're using the 10.0.4.2 as the IP address, as its IP address. Just now Jingyang say 10.0.4.2, and also the subnet mask 255.255.252.0. And also we need to configure for the IP default. So we use the IP default command, and we just enter the IP default, which is 10.0.4.1. Then enter. Then line configuration. Back to Jingyang.
So for this part, I will be showing the IP address of the PC. So for PC0, we will be using the last usable IP address for the PC0, and the subnet mask also the same. And the default gateway is actually linked to the router is at 10.0.4.1, and the others is also the same.
Okay, so now we already set up for the PC already. So the PC0 is basically all the information is already entered inside the IP default address, the subnet mask, and the default gateway, and also the PC1. The PC1 we also already set up all the IP address. All the IP address is already set up. Then now we will try to ping to test the connectivity. So we go to the command prompt. Ping, you can use the ping command to test the connectivity, and then we need to know that the IP address is 10.0.15.254. So we go to ping 10.0.15.254, then enter. So most of the time, first will be some of the error, but because due to some kind of latency, but we try the second time. Then basically is is correct. So it ensures that it shows that there's connection between the PC0 and PC1.